SASE is redefining security by removing the physical perimeter that has governed security over a number of generations, especially in the enterprise environment, and is now reshaping how the enterprise is thinking about security as two major trends unfold. One is a long-term trend where applications and data are moving from the data center into the cloud. That's been happening for over a decade. Some estimates are that over half the workloads are already into the cloud. But the other big shift is the workforce is moving from an office environment into a work from home or even work from anywhere environment. And that is having dramatic implications. Both of these trends were accelerated by COVID-19 in 2020. And the work from home environment in particular creates a problem for enterprise CSOs who are attempting to maintain order and security, even though the network is not under their control. These are home networks, many of them that have to be managed in a more orderly way. And the way to do that is by moving security from a physical concept into the logical domain, where now you're securing users and applications as opposed to subnetworks and IP addresses. And that's really the goal of SASE, is to create a distributed architecture that moves security functions from the endpoints into the cloud, and specifically at the edge. And the SASE architecture brings on board existing security functions, but up levels the ability of the enterprise to look at not just the physical resources, but the user's identity, the user's context, the application's identity and context, and to do this in a way that's independent of the underlying detail. Now, SASE is predicated upon another technology that's called zero trust. This whole notion that shatters the existing norm where security is typically done by granting access in a physical sense, and then you would have access to all these different resources. Zero trust redefines this approach by, in essence, eliminating that notion of trust. In other words, every time something is accessed, we're dynamically assessing whether that user has the privilege, whether the context is appropriate, whether their identity is appropriate, and whether they have access to not only a application, but particular parts of that application or the data that that application is generating. Now, the MEF has actually a number of projects in response to this SASE wave that's underway. One is the SASE service definition or service framework project. The other is the zero trust framework. And both of these projects were just approved in the summer of 2020 and are just ramping up and provide an opportunity for MEF to enhance its posture in security. And these are complementary to the MEF application security for SD-WAN project, which defines some of the security functions that will be deployed in a SASE architecture. Now, the only other point, Spirent is actually involved in SASE in a unique way. We actually created the MEF security testing and certification incubation group. So we have a forum to think about the role of test in the SASE architecture. And that group is resulting in a investigation as to whether we need or it's desirable to have a MEF SD-WAN or excuse me, MEF security certification program, which is yet to be determined.